And welcome back to the dumpster fire that is my podcast. I'm here to break the stigma against moms who smoke. Before I get started, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Moms Who Smoke Podcast, on Twitter at The Moms Who Smoke. Our podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. And after each episode, I release a survey on SurveyMonkey where you can anonymously leave any questions or comments you have for me. Hello again. I have not sat down to record in 3 weeks. Wow, it's been a while. The last episode that you saw was actually recorded the day before I had my first ever psychic reading, and 4 days after that, I went through a mental health re-diagnosis. So it has been a long few weeks, and I skipped a week of posting. I want to apologize that I didn't plan ahead and have 2 episodes pre-recorded. I overestimated what I would be able to handle in the week after all of that, and I just didn't think that I was going to be able to put the time and effort that the podcast is worth into that episode. So that's why I skipped it, and that's why we're here today. So I want to let you guys know that there will be more cannabis and current event related episodes coming up. It's just been, like I said, one hell of a week, and it didn't feel right to just jump into the next episode and the next subject without talking about such big changing events in my life, I guess. Not changing events, but events in my life. So one thing that I have always been afraid of when talking about my mental health is spreading misinformation unknowingly. I do my best to fact check and research and just speak based off of my experiences, but at the same time, I still have that fear of being wrong and telling somebody something that is just blatantly untrue and not realizing it. So it gets hard when a re-diagnosis happens and my outlook shifts because my diagnosis isn't the same. But I've been talking about all these symptoms of one disorder when in fact they're symptoms of another. I've been pretty open about my experience and progress in finding mental health help. And after almost a year looking, I finally got into intake and got a appointment on the phone with a doctor that specialized in what I needed. And unfortunately, it was a 1 appointment reevaluation and re-diagnosis, but it was still a massive step. So as most of you know, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety at 14 or 15, and then re-diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and major depressive disorder at the age of 20. And then at the end of this appointment, I'm now 23, I was re-diagnosed with bipolar 2 and PTSD. So I have talked a lot about having borderline personality disorder. Oh my goodness, I can't even say it. BPD. And so now I kind of feel like I need to explain a bit because I have done a few episodes and dove deep into what life with BPD is like because that's what I thought that I was experiencing. Here's kind of why. So the way that the doctor explained it to me was that many people get diagnosed with major depressive disorder because they come in at their absolute lowest and don't reference the times that they do live a balanced life because in that moment they are in so much pain and need that help so badly that they don't think about mentioning, oh, hey, yeah, I was okay about a week ago, or I have been doing all right, aside from this kind of thing. So the doctor diagnoses them with major depressive disorder instead of bipolar 2 because they don't see that history or pattern. So along with that, the symptoms of borderline personality disorder and bipolar 2 actually cross over quite a bit and can look very much the same. So that would be why I identified so strongly with a lot of the traits of BPD because I do in fact experience them, but they are symptoms of bipolar 2. One thing that really made me think that I had borderline personality disorder was childhood trauma, when in fact that is why I have part of the reason and other reasons why I have PTSD. And when it comes to PTSD, it's just a result of the experiences that I've had in my life, and it's something that I really wasn't all that surprised to find out about. It answered a lot of questions for me. I finally learned what night terrors were and what sleep paralysis was, because I knew the name, but I didn't fully understand what it was. It did give me a lot of answers, but it kind of made sense. So now, have I taken all of this and researched out my literal asshole like I did the first two times? Yeah. And here's why. So, you know how I mentioned that I had my first psychic reading 4 days before that? That was on purpose. This has been something that I have wanted to do for years, but never felt the courage to do so. Never had the money or never actually put the effort in. Over the last few months, I've been considering it more and more, and I had chosen who I wanted to go and see, but I just wasn't sure when. I kept telling myself that when the moment felt right, that I should do it, or that I should do it, and I would just book. Um, and that's exactly what I did. So I can't remember if it was before I did the intake or afterwards, but I was sitting on my phone one night and just got the urge to do it. So I booked it, and then I ended up meeting with her. Um, so I've never been one that fully 100% believes in a type of religion, but I've always believed in spirits and the afterlife. I've always believed that some people have a gift that they can use in different ways. I believe in the power of crystals, using sage to cleanse, tarot cards, protection bottles. What it all boils down to is I believe in the power of intention and the universe. So to me, kind of naturally, I believe in mediums. I don't think that it's a feeling you can explain unless you've experienced and felt it for yourself. But when I walked in, I felt a rush of calm. I don't want to dive into too many details. Um, the first thing that she said to me when I walked in was, "You're in a lot of pain," which, yeah, I've been going through it. I've been going through it for so long, and it made a lot of sense. And from there, the messages that she brought me and the pictures she conveyed of myself and my closest loved ones were dead on. And it kind of woke up something inside of me. It was like a flame that I had let go over the years, or let go out over the years. It was like a reminder that I'm something outside of my body, my brain, my past, my fears, my illness, being a mother, a sister, a daughter, any responsibilities. A reminder that I'm unique and I'm important. And I have to cherish that, and I have to embrace it. And it made that so clear for me. And it seems so ridiculous that it wasn't clear before, but it's so clear now, and almost easier to remind myself each day. And yeah, it was quite the life changing experience. So, fast forward to the re-diagnosis 4 days later. I went in with a mindset that what I get is a definition of the symptoms that I experience, not who I am. Mental illness has a funny way of shifting your mindset, making you feel broken or not normal. I felt that way for as long as I can remember, that I'm the problem or that I need to be fixed, which is just blatantly untrue. I knew that getting this re-diagnosis may give me some answers and skills on what to do, but that I couldn't take it as a part of me. Going into all of this, I was hopeful that the meeting would open my eyes before the re-diagnosis and make it easier to process, and it did just that. So I'm not here to give you the definitions of my new diagnosis, and I'm sure it's something that I will talk about in the not so distant future. But for the first time, I'm trying to take this step by step without rushing through and overwhelming myself. And for the first time, I'm not taking a diagnosis as a stamp of who I am. And I think that that's something that is extremely important, that anyone who struggles with their mental health, or I mean, struggles in general, that what you experience is not who you are. Your feelings are not who you are. You have a soul, and your soul is important, and you need to take care of it and cherish the parts of it that, I don't know, make you feel whole. It's important. And yeah, so it was very life changing. And I definitely want to go back and see her again. And she opened my eyes to a lot of things. So to kind of dive into that side of things a bit, if you were on, I believe it was for the first giveaway that I did a live on Facebook, and I was talking about tarot cards because I had just gotten this tarot card deck. This was probably a month into the podcast, so a few months ago now. And I was asked by quite a few people if I could read their cards for them. And I was very hesitant because I believe in the power, so I don't want to mess with any kind of power or abuse any kind of, I don't know. I was scared to use the tarot cards and to read too often, or to, I don't know, somehow read too into it, I guess. Um, but in talking to the psychic, I'm confident that I got tarot cards for a reason, and I've been doing these readings for a reason. And there's been a few times when I've been pulling tarot cards that it's just become obvious to me that it is, I don't know, you can't ignore the signs that are in front of you. So I'll give you a few different examples of what completely ended my skepticism. So the night before I went to meet with a psychic, I was in a panic. I was just, I mean, rightfully so. I was about to go for a re-diagnosis, meet with a psychic that was about to tell me all about everything that, or not everything, but you know what I mean? That's a deep thing to go into and an emotional thing to go into. And I was panicking. And I came inside and I grabbed my deck off the top shelf, because there's a shelf above my bed, brought them down onto my bed, got them on my bed in both hands, and they went flying. I did not throw these cards. I don't remember leaning or doing anything to make them go flying off my bed, but they went flying off my bed. And when I pull tarot cards, I pull 3 cards, generally past, present, future, but it can be, I don't know, interpreted in different ways depending on the person and the reading. So 3 cards were face up. And I almost shit myself. Like, I'm going to be honest. Like, I was freaked out, and I sent it to my friend, and I was like, hey, this is what just happened. And she's like, Paige, like, stop ignoring the signs. Take it as a sign. And then there was another day that I was actually doing a reading for Carolyn, and we pulled a card, and I was like, I feel like this is reading off my energy. Let's put that back. Let's redraw a card. Shuffled it a lot, because I was like, I don't want to, let's get reshuffle, re-energize, you know, think on it, and then we'll pull a card again. And I pulled the exact same card for her. And then it kind of clicked, and we kind of put the dots together. Same thing happened to me the other night when I was pulling a card for myself. Again, just kind of, I said, you know, bring me to my higher power, bring me to who I'm supposed to be. And I pulled the card, and the way that it came out of the deck, a few cards fell out, and I just flipped over the one that was on top, and I was like, I don't feel right about this. Let's just reshuffle, without even looking at what the card said. And then I pulled the exact same card again. And things like this have made me obviously a lot less skeptical, and it makes, I don't know, you see the signs. And if you're in that mindset and you do believe and your intentions are true, I believe that you can get true signs from these things. And again, you can't read into it too much, and it's not, you know, this is your future. I'm not a fortune teller, but I believe that the symbolism in them means a lot. So, yeah, I'm reading tarot cards now, and I'm really exploring my spiritual side. Um, I actually wanted to talk about this in next week's episode, but maybe I'll talk about it now. We're going to be talking about some ways that we ground ourselves next week. And I have been doing a protection circle around myself each night. So if you guys are interested in that, it's really simple. And honestly, it's not about some witchy stuff. It's about setting your intention and being conscious, I believe. And so every morning I take my hand and I cast a circle of protection around myself and release any negative energy or ill will, and make room for positivity and light. Every morning I felt a rush over myself that time too. And like I feel a rush of calm, and oh, like I don't know, I feel so at peace with myself, and I light my candle as I'm doing it and set my intention for the day, or set no intention for the day, because I've been trying to have no intention days, which I don't know. So you can just be lazy and enjoy the day and not have any, you know, to-do list or anything. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing to ground myself a bit. And it's something that the psychic did teach me. And I got a couple crystals, and I got a protection candle. I got a beautiful feather to disperse my sage with. And yeah, I've also brought that protection circle routine into the kids' bedtime routine. So we've always picked a snack and a book, read the book while they're eating their snack, brushed their teeth, put them to bed. So now we do all of that, and then once they're in bed, they get their little jars that they made with shells that they found and different ingredients that they chose, and I've sealed it for them, and they think all of their happy thoughts into that jar. And then I do the protection circle around the room and around each of them and wish them good thoughts and good dreams. And then we blow out the candle and we go to sleep. And it's like setting your intention for bed to have a good rest. And it's been really, really effective in their routine. And I don't know, that's something that I'm kind of proud of that I brought into the routine, and it's made a world of a difference. And I remember all throughout my struggle, and even my struggles recently, people just saying, okay, mind over matter. You just have to push through. You just have to do it. You just have to do it. It is all about intention. And even if you're having a horrible fucking day and you wake up in the morning and you go, I'm going to do one thing today to make my soul happy. One thing. That's all it takes. It doesn't take any more than that. And you continue to do that one thing until that one thing makes two things, and that those two things make five things. So then the days that you have no energy to make any things, the bad days don't feel so bad. I don't know if that made sense, but you have to be intentional and you have to be consistent. And that is how you heal through anything, I believe. Obviously, it's not that easy. Healing is always an uphill battle. And steps backwards aren't always a bad thing. Sometimes they're a lesson. So that's me being a prophet for the night. Sorry for going on like I, am Gandhi or something. But this is what you get at the dumpster fire with moms who smoke. So I mean, all right. I don't really know if I should do, well, I guess I can do a weekly update because it has been a couple weeks since I talked to you guys. Yeah, I got a re-diagnosis. Other than that, things have been really good. I've been a lot more on top of housework and getting in a better routine with that. Like I said, I think that being intentional has helped with that. I've also gotten in a better routine with the kids, and I'm actually babysitting pretty frequently. So that's also helping me stay busy. And yeah, that has been the last week or so. This has been episode 17 of The Dumpster Fire. That is my podcast. I appreciate if you are still here listening, and I will see you in next week's episode. Bye, guys.